All right, this should be a dope battle. So, shout out my lawyer GB for wanting this battle to really come to fruition. He knows I'm a big Batman fan in particular. I think you have to, as a comics person, acknowledge the greatness of the original Dark Knight story by Miller. One of the best stories ever written. It really showcased how dangerous Batman is if he ever decides he's sick of the tomfoolery. So today, we will be pitting that Batman, in particular from his 3 story arcs written by Miller, and we are pitting that tired, old, angry Bruce versus tired, old, angry Logan from the old Man Logan story. Phenomenal story that eventually actually worked its way over to the main universe. But regardless, what would happen if these two older, matured versions of their famed characters clashed? I'm going to give you my opinion today. If you like content like this, make sure to hit the like button, make sure to hit subscribe, hit the notification bell so you don't miss anything. Now, first, we're going to review Old Man Logan. Old Man Logan was initially, like I said, an off-world story where he went crazy because of Mysterio. That is, he ran into Mysterio. Mysterio used his illusions on him. Wolverine was convinced he was facing basically all his villains' rogues and tries to take them all out. Does kill them, then realizes it was his X-Men buddies. This included Cyclops, Iceman, Storm, and many others. Gambit included. So he killed all these characters. Ends up a loner. Over the years, Logan's healing factor deteriorated in many ways. This makes sense given that he has adamantium in his body. His body's constantly fighting the adamantium as he gets older. The healing factor is just not going to be the same, which is elaborated on several times throughout the story. Still, he does have a healing factor, especially when enraged. Now, his story, in terms of being like almost like the lone survivor, destroyer type, wandering, led him to some absolutely nuts fights. We've seen Old Man Logan go up against the likes of Kraven. At this juncture, Kraven actually remarked that he was not nearly what he was in his prime physically in terms of being Wolverine, but it turns out Logan in a lot of ways is more dangerous because he's a lot smart, more willing to use his skill, isn't reliant upon being a tank. He can still tank shit, but that's not his primary focus. He's oriented now more towards being the old, wiser killer, right? He actually beat Kraven, which is very impressive, and Kraven admitted like even an even weaker Logan is still a formidable threat. He took on a family of hillbilly Hulks, gamma radiated Hulks, tore them to pieces, blew up their camp. He actually at one point gets consumed by a Hulk, tears himself out of it and kills him. We've seen that, like I mentioned before, this Logan, he doesn't really chance too much in terms of like he doesn't just scrap for no reason. He's a lot smarter. A good example, he got into it with Miles Morales. Typically with Spider-Man and Spider-Man like characters, they piss off Logan. They force him to like really engage with them, oftentimes trying to brawl with them. Wolverine was always like that. I mean, he's been like that with Spider-Man. He's been like that with Cyclops too. Just characters that goad him on. Old Man Logan wasn't going for it. Kind of tossed him to the side, and Miles even remarked this Logan wasn't even going all out. Like he wasn't really even trying. He's a lot more measured, a lot more calculated, which makes him more interesting. His claws also seem to somewhat nag healing factors and just cause more damage than usual, as we saw Deadpool couldn't heal normally from getting scratched by Wolverine. He also, even at some point, goes toe-to-toe with Maestro Hulk, lands a few punches, and makes Maestro like respect how good he is, and he also fought like an army of symbiotes for an extended amount of time and did just fine. Overall, Old Man Logan isn't as maybe quick as he used to be. Definitely doesn't have the healing factor he used to have, but he makes up for it with his experience, his grit, his reliance on his skill, which he's always been super skilled, but now he really showcases it. And he's morphed himself into more of like a quick hitting, lethal striker as opposed to a tanky just brawl. He's really trying to put you down pretty early, and he has the capability to do so to a lot of characters. Now, on the other side, let's check out old man Bruce Wayne. Now, the Dark Knight version Bruce Wayne is a darker version that now he's a lot older, a lot more experienced, and he's tired of the shit. He's been retired, and all the heroes have. But he was the one hero. Bruce Wayne was always the guy that couldn't move on. Superman could. Green Lantern went to the stars. You know, Flash was off. We saw Superman stop. We saw Wonder Woman go with the Amazons. But Bruce, he can't resist the call to justice. And this Bruce is a lot more brutal, a lot more willing to kill. When he runs into characters, oftentimes, we see him resorting to more brutal tactics because he's not physically what he used to be. Now, in the third story, or the third entry in the series, Last Crusade, Bruce does eventually go to the Lazarus Pit, and this restores him to like a youthful body. But the whole entire run up until those last several pages, he was older. So I'm going to mostly be relying on that. But he did have very good armors. Now, he was more of a prep guy in this, and when I say prep, it was like he was more likely to have something on him to hurt you or be a little more high powered, because he himself doesn't hit that hard anymore. So his armor like allowed him to fight against Kryptonians that were invading. And even though he made it rain synthetic kryptonite, it only weakened them some. It didn't hurt them at all. And Superman remarked at one point that the leader Quar actually didn't seem affected, but Batman was still able to hit him, take hits from him, although he was compromised by the laser vision. He casually stomped Clark when they went head to head. Basically, Clark was like, Bruce, you're going to bring the humans back on us. They're going to hate us again if you keep doing the shit you do. And Batman said, I don't give a damn. I don't live oppressed. The world's oppressed. Batman's about to rock out. Superman didn't like it, right? Because he's a bitch. He shows up to the Batcave thinking shit was sweet. Bruce anticipated this, beat the hell out of Superman, had his homeboys roll on him, dropped kryptonite on him, beat the hell out of him, told him, get out of my cave. Like, just left him like a bruised and battered. It was horrible. He also stated that his car in particular, his Batmobile, which he has on him basically the whole story, because my boy's not trying to just grapple around anymore. You know, he's older. He's trying to whip the whip. He said, like, Earth's weapons, it would be fine against any of them. They wouldn't do anything. It takes, like, otherworldly tech to bring it down. So, in the end, this Bruce is interesting because he's not nearly as physically gifted as he used to be. That is, his stamina is not nearly as good in long drawn out battles. I mean, it's literally narratively emphasized how sore he is with basic fights. Some characters are a little faster to him now, like Killer Croc's a little faster than he used to be, just because, you know, it's tough for him to maintain peak physicality so long as literally an older man. Plus, at one point, we literally see he was dying during the run. I mean, he's still goated, though. He still beats up Batman, still saves the world. He outthinks Lex Luthor and Brainiac, outmaneuvers them as well, and help lead the rebellion against them. Overall, because of his he's tired. He's tired of the shit, willing to kill. He thugs Superman the whole story. His mentality is a lot more dangerous. His willingness to go all out is a lot more dangerous. And overall, it makes old man Bruce a fascinating opponent to pit against people. Now, if these two were to clash, if old man Logan is walking through the desert, minding his business, old man Bruce pulls up on him in the whip, mistakes him for, you know, an op, hops out and is like, what's up, bitch? What would happen if these two goons would clash? Obviously, I'm a big fan of both. This is a lot different to consider than Wolverine versus Batman, because Wolverine's mentality and old man Logan's mentality is completely different. Physicality is different too, and it matters a lot. It makes the situation a lot different. Logan has the means to easily put down Bruce. he has those claws, right? And those claws are going to shred Bruce's armor and really damage him. This armor, one tapped by Kryptonian laser beams, adamantium should easily cut through it, considering Old Man Logan could also cut Thor type characters, right? So he's able to cut through the armor. Speed wise, I would say Old Man Logan and regular Batman are close. Like, Old Man Logan's not he's not supposed to be as fast as OG Wolverine anyway, but he's more precise with his movements. He has better movement. He doesn't waste his time raging, jumping around, trying to blitz wildly, right? All his moves are mostly accurate and dangerous, and I think that's what makes this a lethal battle for Bruce. I think Logan's going to be able to get out of the way of most of the stuff Bruce throws at him. Bruce doesn't have the gas tank to stay in a long battle with Logan. Logan has time for that shit. He fought off an army of symbiotes for, like, what was implied, days. So he has the regeneration factor. He still can tank some of the stuff Batman would be able to throw at him, at least Old Man Bruce. He would tear up that car and get Bruce out of it. That's when the real fight would begin. I just think eventually Logan has better feats, more feats, and I think he would wear down this older Bruce and take him down. In the end, I favor Old Man Logan. Basically, the anti-Jobberine version of Wolverine. He's not a jobber at all. In the end, Old Man Logan wins, at least to me. What do you guys think? If you agree or disagree, comment down below. I couldn't get past the fact that Logan, beat up Kraven, fought off a bunch of Hulks, killed a Hulk, fought Maestro Hulk. He's done a bunch of wild stuff, and I just feel like that favors his situation more than Old Man Bruce. But let me know what you guys think. If you like videos like this, let me know in the comment section down below. Anyways, it's been your boy YFE, and I'll see y'all later. Road to 10K. Peace.